student, most welcome in KV Upper Camp online classes. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter Political Parties. In class 9th, we noticed the role of political parties in the rise of democracies, in the formation of constitutional design, in electoral politics, and in the making and working of governments. In this textbook, we have glanced at political parties as vehicles of federal sharing of political power and as negotiators of social division in the arena of democratic politics. Let's discuss about the why do we need a political parties. Political parties are easily one of the most visible institutions in the democracy. For most ordinary citizens, democracy is equal to political parties. If you travel to remote parts of our country and speak to the less educated citizen, you could come across people who may not know anything about our constitution or about the nature of our government, but chances are that they would know something about our political parties. At the same time, this visibility does not mean popularity. Most people tend to be very critical of political parties. They tend to blame parties for all that is wrong with our democracy and our political life. Parties have become identified with social and political division. Therefore, it is natural to ask, do we need political parties at all? About 100 years ago, there were a few countries of the world that had any political party. Now there are few that do not have parties. Now we know about what is the meaning of political parties. It means what is the exact definition of political parties. A political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. They agree on some policies and programs for the society with a view to promoting the collective good. Since there can be different views on what is good for all, parties try to persuade people why their policies are better than others. They seek to implement these policies by winning popular support through elections. Thus, parties reflect fundamental political division in a society. Parties are a part of the society and thus involve partisanship. What do you mean by partisanship? A person who is strongly committed to a party, group or faction, it is called a partisanship. Partisanship is marked by a tendency to take a side and inability to take a balanced view on an issue. That is called a partisanship. I repeat, what is a partisan? A person who is strongly committed to a party, group or faction, that is called a partisan. Thus, a party is known by which part it stands for, which policies it supports and whose interest it upholds. A political party has three components: the leader, the active members, and the followers. Leaders, who lead the political party; the active members, who is the member of the political party, all the members counted as active members, and the followers, supporters of the political parties. Now we know about the function of the political parties. What is the function of political parties? Basically, political parties fill political offices and exercise political power. Parties do so by performing a series of functions. Parties contest election. In most democracies, elections are fought mainly among the candidates put up by political parties select their candidates in different ways. In some countries, such as the USA, members and supporters of a party choose its candidate. Now, more and more countries are following this method. In other countries like India, top party leaders choose candidates for contesting election. Second one, parties put forward different policies and programs and the voters choose for them. Each of us, many have different opinions and views on what policies are suitable for the society, but no government can handle such a large variety of views in a democracy. A large number of similar opinions have to be grouped together to provide a direction in which policies can be formulated by the government. This is what the parties do. A party reduces a vast multitude of opinions into a few basic positions which it supports. A government is expected to base its policies on the line taken by the ruling party. Third one is, parties play a decisive role in making laws for a country. Formally, laws are debated and passed in the legislature. But since most of the members belong to a party, they go by the directions of the party leadership, irrespective of their personal opinions. Fourth one is, parties form and run the government. As we noted last year, the big policy decisions are taken by the political executive that comes from the political parties. Parties recruit leaders, train them, and then make them minister to run the government in the way they want. Fifth, those parties that lost in the elections play the role of opposition to the parties in power by voicing different views and criticizing the government for its failure or wrong policies. Opposition parties also mobilize opposition to the government. Sixth one is, parties shape public opinion. They raise and highlight issues. Parties have Lakhs of members and activists spread all over the country. Most of the pressure groups are the extensions of political parties among different sections of society. Parties sometimes also launch movements for the resolution of problems faced by people. Often opinions in the society crystallize on the lines parties take. Seventh one is parties provide people access to government machinery and welfare schemes implemented by government. For an ordinary citizen, it is easy to approach a local party leader than a government official. That is why they feel close to parties even when they do not fully trust them. Parties have to be responsive to people's needs and demands. Otherwise, people can reject those parties in the next election. That's all for today. We will discuss next part of the chapter in next video. Thank you.